Studs and chats, today we have a crazy documentary for PS4, how Sony became the king of consoles again. I know that this is gonna be a little bit controversial, but if you're not offended by that statement, make sure to hit the subscribe bell.
It's a thrill to be with you here today. The stakes are high for what we're going to show you.
I remember, man, 2013 were simple times because after that game started going downhill, bruh.
Is consumer-centric, developer-inspired, and characterized by an unwavering commitment to phenomenal play experiences.
Oof. Oh my god.
The demands for a new platform were clear.
Sony Pony 4 Jet Engine.
Reimagination of the gaming experience that has been developer-led, consumer-inspired, and powerfully and thoughtfully engineered by Sony Computer Entertainment.
Simple times, man. Uncharted 4 is a masterpiece, though.
To make accessing the content gamers love easier than ever.
Damn, son. Yeah, that's the Sony Pony 4. Yo, God of War is a masterpiece as well.
Experience available today.
But otherwise, like after 2013, after GTA 5, games just went downhill.
Delivering the most powerful platform ever.
Powerful platform, he said. I know some of the...
and adaptive with socially enriched content. This is the foundation of our next generation platform, PlayStation 4.
Simple times, man. I said simple times. How Sony became the king of consoles again. Might be a little bit controversial, man, but everybody, let's simmer down. I know y'all are strong. If you're strong, make sure to slap, and only then continue if you're strong. 2006, Sony Pony 3.
2006 was nothing short of a disaster for Sony Corporation. While the company managed to redeem themselves at the end of the PS3's life cycle,
Yo, if I'm not mistaken, the reason he said PS3 was a disaster, I'm assuming because of the price tag. PS3 was really expensive at launch, and yeah, that is definitely
closest competitor led the market for 7 years. It was only until 2013, after multiple price drops, services, AAA games, and more, that led to Sony shipping more PlayStation 3s than Xbox 360s.
Yeah.
But arguably, both consoles pretty much evened out in the very end, and Nintendo saw tremendously high sales for the Wii, despite its severe lack of proper third-party support.
Listen, man, if you never played on PS3 or Xbox 360, you seriously missed out, man. I'm gonna keep a $150 with you. That was the golden era of gaming, okay? 1 if you agree, 2 if you don't agree, and only say 1 or 2 if you played on those consoles.
Not really the former glory they once had with the original PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Early into the PS3's life cycle, the company knew they had a problem. The recently launched gaming console was $500 and $600 respectively.
Yeah.
The company was selling it at a loss, as it cost roughly $840 to manufacture one system.
Damn,
the PS3 cell processor was overly complex and difficult for developers to work with. And to make matters worse, Sony's PR wasn't doing the company any favors either. Sony and the PlayStation 3 were the laughingstock of the internet, with memes and PR statements saying that you should get a second job to afford the company's console. After the platform launched in
Dude, the console wars were lit back then, man. They were crazy, but they were not like as toxic as today, though. Listen, man, I love the memes, okay, like Sony Pony 3. I love me the fat PS3. Dude, this fat PS3, my favorite, okay? I still have it with me, man. It's on its last breath. It's on its deathbed, but still, man, it does well.
2006.
It works.
Sony got
it works
quick. Amongst helping developers, adding rumble back to the controllers, and getting AAA games out, the Sony hardware team spent a year working on getting the cost of manufacturing PS3 down. But by 2007, a post-mortem analysis of the PS3 began, identifying what did and didn't work specifically to begin direction with the next console. By 2008, the company began the early stages of what would become the PlayStation 4. With their analysis of the PS3, the new foundation was laid out. Sony would collaborate internationally, have open conversation, focus on the architecture, and deliver what third parties wanted most. Perhaps the most notable and integral part of PS4's early development was the platform's lead architect, Mark Cerny. Cerny was no stranger to—
Now, this is the same guy that was asking about, like, earhole pictures during the reveal of PlayStation 5. I'm not making that up, okay? Maybe he said that in a sarcastic way. I feel like that he really meant that in a sarcastic way, but he for real said, which was kind of hilarious.
The games industry. At the time, he was a 25-year veteran, first landing a job at Atari in 1982, then moving on to Sega, and eventually finding himself at Universal Interactive Studios, working on early successful PlayStation games like Crash Bandicoot.
Damn,
Sony had
for
formed
real?
his own company, Cerny Games, in 1998, where he would provide console.
My guy has been in the industry for a very long time.
He worked on a vast array of Sony's first-party titles. But in November of 2007, Cerny spent a lot of time researching the history of x86 PC architecture and the feasibility of it being used in—
I wanna see that devil look. I wanna know where that came from. Like, what press conference?
He did this on his own desires without having any real responsibility or involvement in PlayStation 4, which at the time wouldn't even be out for another 6 years. But what he determined is that x86 could be embraced instead of improving the PS3 cell processor. With his research and 25 years of experience, he approached Sony's Shuhei Yoshida and asked if he could be the lead architect for the PS4. To his surprise, the answer was yes, and final approval came from Sony Computer Entertainment CTO Masa Chitani. Surprisingly so, as this would be the first time major hardware would be led by an American at Sony Computer Entertainment, which is headquartered in Japan, where Mark would now move to and work from. Ken Kutaragi, well known for being the father of PlayStation, has now mostly left the company after wrapping up the PlayStation 3.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, meet the daddy of Sony ponies out there. Crazy stuff.
And how he approached games.
Rare, mega rare. They will make an NFT out of this situation, though.
He was often overly ambitious, and his desires were getting more visuals, more on-screen enemies, and advancing the technology to the absolute max. Cerny did not want to approach PS4 this way, and instead utilized his research and the PS3 analysis to mold PS4, and it mostly began with fielding out what third-party developers wanted from next-generation hardware. The company would send out questionnaires to developers in an attempt to not make it look as though they were asking about PS4. But even in 2008 to 2009, developers knew, and they provided the feedback necessary to get PS4 off to the right start. Developers wanted unified memory and a very powerful GPU the most out of anything.
Any scientists around? Anybody knows what's the GPU in PS4 was? Like, what's the equivalent? Because I know that people always say that PS5 and Xbox Series X is like the 2080 equivalent of the graphics card. What was the PS4 equivalent?
At the time, that if they didn't go with 8 GB of RAM, they'd be dead. At times, Mark Cerny recalled how he would be booed during presentations with developers. But with all of this and x86 in mind, Mark Cerny wanted game development on PS4 to be easy and accessible, so instead of spending 6 months to a year on PS3 to get a graphics engine up to speed, it would take as little as 1 to 2 months on PS4. This would allow developers to get their games on PS4 faster, more efficiently, and comfortably, while at the same time still allowing extra wiggle room for the developers that want to pursue more graphical fidelity if they choose to do so over the console's lifecycle. With Mark Cerny officially at the helm, the creation of PS4 began.
Damn! Yeah, this is where the Sony Pony saga continued, guys. Sony Pony 4 represents a significant shift from thinking of Sony Pony as a merely— listen, man, I'm just joking. I play on the Sony, or I should say I play on the Pony console PlayStation. I love me that Pony console, okay?
The rumors didn't start up until mid-2011, when it was reported Sony was aiming to release the next generation in 2012. By the same time next year, it was reported that dev kits were sent to developers and the hardware was codenamed Orbis. It didn't take much longer for Sony to send out—
But why though? Like, damn, son, just call it a Sony Pony 4 console, or I should just call it PlayStation 4, okay? Why have codenamed this and that? Complicates life, man. Complicates life. Make it easy. Simple.
It would take place February 20th, 2013 in New York City. And sure enough, this is the event where they would reveal to the world their plans for PlayStation 4. It was nearly a 2-hour presentation going over what the PS4 was going to be and how it was going to change the way we play games.
Damn, bro, I remember this, man. I remember this. Dude, 2013 were simple times, crazy times. I miss those times. I love those times.
This
crazy
is the foundation
days, simple
of our
times,
next generation platform.
Yep.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and then Xbox One got revealed as well, and they went in a really bad route with like TV, Netflix, and I don't know if they said I don't know if Netflix existed back then, but they really went in that TV route.
Andrew House initially announced the console, but quickly allowed PS4's architect Mark Cerny to take the stage and go over the console's controller, hardware, and features. Cerny showed off the system's new and improved DualShock 4, which was—
I really feel like that this is where that like devil look came into play, though.
First radically redesigned controller for the company in PlayStation history, aside from the PS3's Boomerang prototype that never ended up being released. But the DualShock 4 would sport a light bar for camera recognition and a touchpad as a new input method for game developers. It features a dedicated share button to take screenshots and video and share them instantly to social media. but more so Mark's.
The touchpad was actually a really good addition, but it wasn't used in many games though, right? But it was good, like it acted like a mouse pointer as well.
Cerny went over the PS4's innards. It was in fact x86, with 8GB of unified GDDR5 memory, much to the surprise and cheer of many developers around the world. Cerny also revealed for the first time ever he'd be directing his own game called Knack. This would be the first PS4 game the world would ever see. But further into the presentation, it was detailed how PS4 was a connected platform that offered immediacy to the content you're looking for. You could suspend games and resume at will. You could live stream right from the new and improved user interface, and Sony also demonstrated PS Vita remote play capabilities, claiming that PS4 and Vita were designed in tandem, and that every PS4 game would be remote playable to Vita, demonstrating this fittingly with Cerny's game, Knack. The rest of the announcement was filled with major first-party games being revealed.
I'm not sure if it's official, but I believe I read it somewhere that they confirmed behind the scenes, but I should not be saying confirmed. But listen, a rumor, let's just say rumor, okay? The rumor is that Killzone series is dead. It's not gonna ever happen again. I wouldn't personally say ever, but that's the rumor going around.
Killzone and Infamous game were shown, with Sony's now defunct Evolution Studios showing off their new racing game, Drive Club. Media Molecule and Quantic Dream demonstrated some tech demos, and multiple third parties made an appearance to pledge their support for the platform as well. Oddly, the physical PS4 console was not shown at all, but the conference was received mostly positive amongst fans and critics. The general air in the games industry was now left wondering, what is Sony's closest competitor going to do?
Yeah, and this is where Xbox really effed up. Now listen, man, I know some bots would be like, how dare you say that? I'm going. Listen. No console wars, alright? These are facts. Facts don't care about feelings. Xbox One really suffered because they really went in the route of TV, man. Gotta watch TV on your Xbox. That's why PS4 really succeeded, in my honest opinion. It would have still done well, but that's probably was one of the biggest reason. But right now, I mean, both are doing well, right?
Sony just now reaching sales parity with the Xbox 360. A brand new console generation was about to start. Early rumors of the next Xbox weren't the most promising, as it was suggested that Microsoft was looking into ways of controlling used game sales. The project was codenamed Durango, and eventually Microsoft showed the world the next Xbox on May 21st, 2013.
They really made a bad decision by keeping used games out of the shelves. I'm not sure if what exactly they said we're probably gonna hear in this. They really were against used copies, which was not a good thing, and Sony came out and Sony said that you can actually use games, okay? You can borrow the games to your friends and you can actually use used games on PS4 and you will be able to play them. And my God, they garnered a lot of support that way.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing
TV.
Xbox One.
Yeah, man. But right now, I mean, Series X doing fine, right? PS5 doing fine. Both of them are doing good. Looks like Xbox really learned from their mistakes, but this was just bad. Because you're marketing a gaming console, and they really went in like, well, we gonna show you the TVs.
Now we're showing off the newly named Xbox One, an all-in-one entertainment system that was designed with connecting everything in your...
It was a good decision, but Kinect really effed them up as well. It was a good idea, I should say, not decision.
The physical console, and Xbox's Youssef Mehdi promised exclusive games that would be shown at greater length at E3. But for this specific presentation, Microsoft would be demonstrating the console's features. More specifically, its newly improved Kinect camera and how it would allow easy sign-in to Xbox Live and voice controls for live TV. The company then moved on to EA and its commitment to the platform with EA's new engine for sports games. Phil Spencer then arrived to
Bro, Andrew has been with EA since that long? That is crazy, bro. I mean, no wonder why EA is out there like making more money than God, but the games are shiza. Damn, bro.
exclusives coming within the first year, 8 of which would be a brand new IP. The event then closed out with the announcement of a live-action Halo TV series and a closer look at Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yo, Call of Duty Ghosts, my guy! Yes! 2013, it was Call of Duty Ghosts. They showed the fish AI. Homies were shaking and it was crazy.
Uproar, as not only did a vast majority of the conference focus on TV and sports, but shortly after it was revealed, Xbox One would require an internet connection to verify the licenses of your games. Microsoft initially tried to deflect this issue by claiming it wouldn't need a constant connection, but every 24 hours...
Like, every 24 hours, like, get them all.
It wasn't long after until Microsoft gave firm answers basically stating retail discs would be tied to your gamer tag. and that buying and selling used games would be possible at partnered retailers, and video game publishers would in fact have leverage over charging a fee on used games.
Damn.
Microsoft was now in extremely deep water. They were sinking fast as the entire internet was vowing to boycott Xbox.
This was a really bad decision for Xbox One. Honestly, man. They should not have done that, but I'm really glad they did. Fans complained, PS4 succeeded, right? And now they learned from their mistakes. That's the big part, right? They learned from their mistakes, and now Series X is doing well as well, and they got Game Pass. A lot of people love that, which is actually really good.
Voiced concerns over the anti-consumer policies that Microsoft would be imposing on their loyal customers. With an awful reveal and an even worse digital rights management in place, Sony was now in a much better position than ever before. 2013 was essentially a far cry from their position in 2006. The company
really
knew
made it
this,
easy for
and they
PS4.
took advantage of it to the best of their ability come E3 2013.
Force Connect, bruh. One guy said earlier. Yeah, Connect really. People were like, so are you gonna spy me? I mean, like, no shies are like that. That's why they were putting cameras, you know, where yo, Battlefield 4 was damn. Yo, Battlefield 4 was also, it also came out in 2013. Dude, 2013, simple times. We also had GTA 5. Then gaming went downhill. I mean, we had some bangers, right? Like Until Dawn, Uncharted 4, God of War.
The conference was early in the
few
morning.
Bangers there. But after 2013, it went downhill though.
Of promising game announcements, much like they had promised at their reveal event. Rise Son of Rome, Sunset Overdrive, Titanfall, Killer Instinct, Dead Rising 3, Crimson Dragoon, Minecraft, and Project Spark were all revealed. New footage for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh damn, she looking like a snag though.
Smart Glass and Upload Studio were also demonstrated for Xbox One. The show ended with Xbox's Phil Spencer revealing the console will launch in November at $499. Despite a strong showing of games, most gamers were still full steam ahead with ignoring the platform entirely due to Microsoft's awful DRM policies.
$499
Later
for
that
TV.
day, Sony began their press conference and had a few extra platforms to cover. After going over a few PS3 and Vita-related announcements, the company officially showed the PS4's console design. It was two-tiered and slanted in a way to hide cords in the back from being too visible, with a blue LED indicator going across the top half of the unit.
Yeah, that's the
Sony
Sony
went
pony
on to
color.
show a number
Sony
of
pony
upcoming
color.
PS4 titles. Knack and Drive Club were confirmed to be launch titles, though Drive Club would go on to miss this. Infamous got a new trailer, Ready at Dawn revealed The Order 1886, and Kingdom Hearts 3 was revealed. Final Fantasy Versus 13, a game originally slated for PS3 years ago, was now renamed to Final Fantasy 15. Interestingly, Sony took a moment to show their newfound commitment to independent developers by highlighting a number of titles at one time. The company went on to announce 30 titles were in development at Sony's worldwide studios, with 20 coming in the first year, 12 of which being a new IP. And overall games would be 140 in development.
I would say the only thing we still need to this day is the backwards compatibility. I know that not everybody is a sucker for backwards compatibility, but I'm a sucker for backwards compatibility, okay? I really want to play the old PS3 games out there, the PS2. I mean, they're gonna be having the Spartacus, but let's be real. We're not gonna be able to take over, let's just say PS1, PS2, and even PS3 disc. We cannot put it inside the PS5 and play that way. That's a massive thing. Massive
100 in the
global.
first year.
We should have had that during PS4 as well.
Exclusive experiences. It wasn't until nearing the end that the show really started to heat up, when Sony Computer Entertainment America President and CEO Jack Tretton acknowledged recent developments with used games and reassured the room that PS4 would be a normal console like it's always been.
Yeah, it
For
will let
instance,
us play used
PlayStation
games.
4 won't impose any new restrictions on the use of PS4
Dude,
games.
I watched it live, bro. It was crazy.
For this, they have the rights to use that copy of the game. They can trade in the game at retail, sell it to another person, lend it to a friend.
Bro, they went crazy, my guy. I watched it live. I remember this.
Space games don't need to be connected online to play,
Yo,
and
this
it won't
was
stop working if
crazy,
you haven't
man.
authenticated within 24 hours.
The Sony ponies were doing helicopters with their release, and listen, man, this was back in 2013, 9 years ago. Can you believe it? Maybe one of you is watching this video in 2077. My God, time is a crazy thing, okay? Like, let me tell you this, man.
Shortly
was
after,
crazy.
PlayStation had Andrew House announce the price.
I'm very proud to announce that
$399, I believe?
PlayStation 4 will be available at $399.
Yeah. Bro, that was a massive low blow to Microsoft. Not only that PS4 was less expensive, but it had more.
Collectively, almost every gamer committing to buy a next-generation console was more than likely going with PS4. And Sony didn't stop. They even went on after to release a video essentially mocking Xbox's used game policies.
Yeah,
Sony's Scott Rhodey had discussed after the conference that PS4...
This was dirty. This was dirty, bro. Listen, man. Sony definitely did Microsoft real dirty with that.
was always going to be a regular console. But after so many people on Twitter pleaded that Sony not have any restrictive policies, the company instead waited on reassuring people until they could do so publicly on the E3 stage.
What's the catch, right?
He even mentioned that after Microsoft revealed the price, everyone at Sony was walking around with smiles on their faces. This was it. It couldn't be a more perfect storm for PlayStation 4 to get off on the right foot and get an edge on the very competitor they had spent the last 7 years catching up to.
Microsoft really made it easy for PS4. That was just bad. But now they learned from their mistake, and Xbox is thriving as well. Yep, that's the Xbox. And the bots, I mean, they wanted to do helicopters with their release around that time, but your feedback matters. Your feedback matters. Get them all, okay? I mean, listen, man. Right now, credit where it's due, they actually listened to the feedback, because if they did not, the Xbox Series X would have been doing the same thing as Xbox One.
Quick. A little over a week after E3 on June 19, 2013, Microsoft announced a complete reversal in Xbox One policies. The system would basically function much like anyone would expect, with no required internet connection and the ability to buy and sell used games.
Yo, damn. Okay, listen, man. I actually forgot about that. That is crazy that they acted this fast. I mean, honestly, they would have to. They had no other option, right? Because if they really stuck with that, then Xbox One, it did well, though. Let's be real. Like, it did like 50 plus million, maybe even 60 plus million at this point. Basically, the ratio is 2 to 1, where PlayStation 4 did 2 times more sales than Xbox One, right? But still, though, Xbox One, it sold 50 plus million, maybe even 60 plus million, which is crazy numbers, don't get me wrong, but if Xbox never reversed their decision, it would have been bad.
The system would actually require a day one update once, to presumably remove the originally intended functionality. And by July 1st, it was announced that Xbox head Don Matrick would be leaving the company to work as CEO of Zynga. For many, these were the announcements needed to get back on board with Xbox. But for most, it was likely too late.
Too
as
late.
a vast majority of gamers still
late.
voice their anger with Xbox on the internet.
Dude, consumers move fast. You don't F with the consumers, bro. It just don't work. I'm not talking about fans, or I'm not talking about hardcore fans, okay? You do not F around with the fans and consumers. Like, because money does not grow on trees, right? So people will just go with what gives you more value and what costs less. And that's where Xbox One, I should say, really effed things up, because it was expensive and it was TV.
2013, the PlayStation 4 officially launched in North America and becomes the fastest selling PlayStation console ever, selling over 1 million units in just 24 hours.
Damn.
Xbox One would launch just a week later on November 22nd, and it too saw a successful launch in North America, Europe, and Australia. Microsoft also achieved 1 million units sold in just 24 hours. Both consoles received plenty of attention and praise throughout the holiday season, with exciting games and eager consumers around the world just waiting to get into the next generation. But as the weeks rolled on,
Listen, man, 2013 was still at the end, okay? At the end, let's be real, okay? It was good times for the ponies and the bots out there, okay? Simple times,
interesting elements seemed to crop up frequently. And that's that many games on PS4 were performing at higher resolutions or frame rates compared to Xbox One versions. Many developers would even openly admit that PS4 was the more powerful platform, and that in some instances, the differences were significant. A lot of these stories were highly publicized and was ultimately damaging the Xbox's image long term, which didn't do them any good when Microsoft was already selling the machine at a $100 premium over the PS4 due to the included Kinect sensor. To make matters worse, Sony was now making major third-party exclusive deals,
Listen, man, Black Ops 3 Zombies was hands down the best. This might be a popular opinion. I'm not sure if it's an unpopular opinion or a popular opinion, but Black Ops 3 Zombies was really good. I mean, some people obviously did not love it, just perfectly fine, but a lot of people loved. And yeah, Black Ops 3 came out in 2015, and this DLC came out in 2016, right? Setsubu Noshima. This map was considered the worst zombies map for that time during Black Ops 3, but right now it is considered a masterpiece, bro. That is crazy, because nowadays we don't even get proper zombies maps
for this generation.
They recycle
Sony
everything.
was also partnered with developer Bungie right away for exclusive content on their upcoming game Destiny. Going into January 2014, both companies gave updated sales figures. Sony had sold 4.2 million PS4s by January 7th, and Microsoft had sold approximately 3 million by January 6th.
Not bad.
As the months
not
rolled
bad.
on, another issue seemed to crop up over and over, and it was Microsoft's controversial parity clause, a stipulation the company had with developers in their ID at Xbox program. The requirement being that if a game wants to come to Xbox, it must release the same day as other versions, otherwise it cannot come at all, unless it's an exclusive game or offers exclusive content. This was very off-putting to many small developers, and this often caused these teams to simply ignore Xbox and just release their games on PS4 and PC, which played out nicely for Sony because the company was already doubling down on independent developers and welcoming them with open arms.
I feel like the PS5 and Series X sold way faster, way more. It really feels like that. And people, obviously, there are more fans, right? Like, more people want PS5 and Series X right now, so that's why it feels that way. But I feel like the PS5 and Series X sold way more in that time frame compared to that PS4 4 million and Xbox One 3 million. But it still feels like that it did not sell that much.
Start to release some first-party games, and a frantic Microsoft who starts the journey to repairing Xbox. The company starts with making head of Xbox Game Studios, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox entirely. Spencer took over late March 2014, and by May 2014, his decisions already began. Xbox One would remove the Kinect sensor and begin selling consoles.
Phil Spencer really made Xbox really solid, okay? Like, yeah, if it was not Phil Spencer, Xbox brand would have been, I don't know. It would have been bad.
Consumer-friendly as the company was now being, November 2014 would be the last time Microsoft ever released official sales figures. With roughly 10 million Xbox One shipped worldwide, Sony, on the other hand, was now at 14.4 million. The sales gap was only growing larger.
Yeah, I mean, of course, PS4 is ahead, but it's not like 2 times ahead around that time, but right now it is.
If I want it, I'll go buy it. If I don't, I won't. Regaining that trust and the mind share with the customer, the gamer, is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, Phil Spencer really made Xbox be on the right path, let's just say, right? Because like the other guy was ready to F things up, man. I'm telling you, if you're a bot right now, yeah, man, Phil Spencer is the hero, that gem.
Meanwhile, Microsoft made the incredible announcement at E3 2015 that Xbox One would be receiving backwards compatibility via software emulation. A crowd-pleasing pro-consumer announcement for sure, just not one that seemed to make any significant push in sales towards PlayStation 4. Throughout the year, Sony saw tremendous success as the console climbed in sales from 18 to 30 million by the end of the year. 2016 was the year of new hardware and price drops. Both Sony and Microsoft revealed revised hardware via PS4 Slim and Xbox One S, and Sony now launched their virtual reality hardware, PlayStation VR. By year's end, PlayStation 4 Pro also launched, a more powerful PS4 that would use checkerboard rendering to achieve...
this came out in 2016, so 3 years after, and currently the rumor is that PS5 Pro is going to be coming out by the end of 2023 or in 2024. So yeah, chances are very high we're going to be getting another PS5
4K-like
Pro
visuals,
version.
or allow increased frame rates on 1080p televisions. Through 2016, PS4 was now bolstering its library of exclusive games even more, with games like Uncharted 4, The Last Guardian, and Ratchet & Clank. Sony was now fully flexing its vast array of first-party studios, and at a time with many quality releases, even more were still to come with trailers and excitement surrounding games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo Sport, Detroit Become Human, and God of War. With Microsoft
Detroit Become Human is such a phenomenal game, man. If you never played it, play the game, okay? Play the game. Or if you're not able to play the game, or for some reason you do not want to play the game, maybe you're like, hey, it's not gonna be that good. Watch it on YouTube for 10 minutes. You're gonna end up watching the entire game. I'm
recently
telling you.
announcing the closure
It's
of
really
Lionhead
good.
Studios
It's really good.
and only releasing a handful of exclusives up to that point, the sales gap widened even further, and intense pressure was now being placed on the company to match Sony's worldwide studios.
Yeah, man. PS4, simple times,
This
but
is
my
the
favorite is
foundation of
PS3
our next
era.
generation platform, PlayStation 4.
Okay, how much it's sold now? It's above 100 million, right? Xbox One, I'm sure it's like 50, 60 somewhere. The last time I heard, 23, 20, 25. It would have been great if we got the year alongside this as well. But yeah, man, Sony Pony Gang, rise up. Sony Pony, Sony Pony Gang. Where the bots at? Where the bots at? Listen, man, memes are fine, in my opinion. Memes should be in here, okay? We gotta have the console war memes, but let's not make it like console wars toxic, right? I just don't understand why people really die over a console.
Sold 82 million PlayStation 4s, compared to Microsoft being around approximately 38 million Xbox Ones at the time of this video. With a 2-to-1 lead, the conditions for Sony have completely changed
this
for
video
the
was
8th
made in
generation of video
2018,
game
so
consoles.
that makes sense.
And it wasn't necessarily one thing. It was a perfect storm. Lead architect Mark Cerny completely rethinking how Sony can make a PlayStation. Microsoft completely missing the mark with what consumers want. A team of worldwide studios working hard to release incredible games. Everything
Make
fell
memes,
into the
not
right
wars.
place for Sony to redeem its long and arduous battle from PlayStation 3. Even
Whether a pony or a bot, we just want good games. Just want good games.
like The Last of Us Part 2, Days
And
Gone,
good
and Death
features, good
Stranding.
consumer
PS4 will likely
stuff.
reach 100 million units before the PS5 comes, and Microsoft has fully admitted on multiple occasions that they're not going to be able to match Sony. However, that doesn't mean they aren't prepared. Sony
Yep.
learned a lesson from PS3 and applied it to PS4. Xbox will now do the same, and with the recent announcement of Microsoft acquiring 4 new game studios within the last year, this is the earliest sign of Xbox committing to gamers again. The battle for your loyalty is not lost on Microsoft, and with the advent of streaming and next-generation consoles on the
The homie with the hope?
Sony and Microsoft are preparing for yet another round.
Damn,
But for
son.
now, in the 8th generation, Sony prevailed with PlayStation 4.
Damn, so the homie really came up with the hope. This was a good video. Click on this video on the screen and I will see you right there.